Yo, what's up, man? We are about to get into this video. France delivers fatal warning to Trump after his blatant disrespect and his threats. Let's see what's going on. I don't know who, like this dude is just, man, he's crazy, man. I'm just gonna be real. He's like a comedian to me. I don't take him serious, but you have to take him serious because he did. You know, he's been doing he says and does outrageous things. So you have to take him serious, but it's hard to take this dude serious. Like, he's like a clown, man. So let's go. Let's see what's up.
Emmanuel. You know Emmanuel Macron? Macron. Emmanuel. You know Emmanuel Macron? Macron. I love the French accent. Emmanuel.
Everybody think in France, in the European Union, that Greenland is not to be sold, not to be taken. The situation in Greenland is clearly a wake-up call for all the Europeans. And let me tell you very directly that you are not alone.
Yeah, it appears that the French Prime Minister finally said the quiet part out loud. America under Donald Trump isn't leading the alliance anymore. It's turning away from it.
We need to step up in Europe. We need a stronger and a more resolute Europe, standing increasingly in its own right, capable of defending and promoting Europe and the European interest.
Nu står vi med en geopolitisk krise, og hvis vi skal vælge mellem USA og Danmark her og nu, så vælger vi Danmark. Vi vælger NATO. Vi vælger kongeriget Danmark. Vi vælger EU.
This week, Emmanuel Macron delivered an unusually blunt message about US behavior under Trump, warning that America is, quote, breaking free from international rules and gradually turning away from some of its allies. The president of France, one of America's oldest allies, stood at a podium and said, "We are watching the United States drift out of the alliance system in real time."
And when a strategic message is sent to you, I want just for you to know that it's clearly perceived by the Europeans as targeting a European land. And this flag you have here is our common flag. And we know our common values. And we know our long-standing choices. And this is why it's very important for French people and all the European people to convey very clearly this message of solidarity and the fact that we stand with you now, for today, and for tomorrow.
If any military member, including the generals on down to enlisted members, if any of them participate in the use of military force against Greenland without congressional authorization, they are following illegal orders. That's simply a fact.
Is that AI? Who the hell is this dude?
If any military member, including the generals on
That's
down
not real.
to enlisted members, if any of them participate in the use of military force against Greenland without congressional authorization, they are following illegal orders.
That's fake.
That's simply a fact.
And the backdrop for the criticism is obvious.
Why would they
Trump's
put this fake?
ever-escalating rhetoric and pressure campaign to try and annex Greenland, territory that is tied to Denmark, a NATO ally. And despite the fact that our allies are warning against it, and even fellow Republicans who usually get in line with Trump are coming out to say, we have enough problems here at home, why are you so focused on another territory? Trump refuses to acknowledge any of this and continues his aggressive rhetoric.
Point. We had 17 military installations in Greenland, and they'd be happy to have us back. They're not refusing to have us have access to project power into the Arctic. We could do it without taking over a NATO country. That's the sort of advice that they should have been given. So if the president thought it was a good idea, then he needs the expertise to say, Mr. President, that's why this is not a good idea. And I would defy you to find any credible general with a star on his shoulder who would say that it is, because they understand that the NATO alliance is what has kept this nation largely, or this world, largely safe for over 75 years. Look, I've been, the reason why I thought it was important for me to make a comment on the floor is I've been the Republican leader of the Senate NATO Observer Group since 2018. There is no more important alliance than the NATO alliance. And Denmark has punched above its weight. It came to Afghanistan, lost 43 soldiers on the ground, fought in some of the most contested regions, honoring their Article 5 commitment to the United States.
I think they lost more soldiers than any other country per capita.
Per capita, they did, and Jake, they were in among the NATO allies at the time. It was 30 nations. They were among the top 6, and think about all the nations bigger than them. So to have the Prime Minister suggest that they have to be prepared for some sort of action by the United States suggests to me that Mr. Miller does not know anything about the alliance, the importance of it. And, you know, generals, I was on Senate Armed Services for 8 years, and generals would always say the same thing. The only thing worse than going to war with allies is going to war without allies.
Greenland and Denmark have repeatedly said Greenland is not for sale. European
That's
officials
real
have even
talk.
warned that entertaining coercive acquisition rhetoric destabilizes NATO unity because, rightfully so, it shows that the US treats allies as a target.
Grönland ist genauso wie die Färöer Bestandteil des dänischen Königreiches und da Dänemark der NATO angehört, wird auch Grönland prinzipiell von der NATO zu verteidigen sein. Und wenn es dort weitere Erfordernisse gibt, die Verteidigungsanstrengungen bezüglich Grönlands zu verstärken, dann werden wir das im Rahmen der Allianz miteinander zu besprechen haben.
And Greenland's own officials have made it clear that the rhetoric isn't just offensive, it's frightening their people. And away from the diplomatic nightmare that is Donald Trump, right? Just look at how it's being received from the people in Greenland. They are terrified of the very idea that Donald Trump would be a leader to them. And yet somehow this country decided that this man was fit for office twice.
Talk about him because he spoiled my sleep. Or they do. Yeah, I don't sleep very well because I'm afraid. They have no respect for us.
They don't care.
For my country, or for our country. So.
What I think is he wants to make Greenlandic minerals to pay off the national debt of United States. That's what I think.
I think people are really scared in Greenland.
Yeah, I've seen quite few who were concerned.
I dreamed about him last night. Nightmare. That he was coming with the ship. It was awful, that dream. So I'm scared.
What the reasons behind it, we don't get it, really. It's so peaceful and calm here, and he says that Denmark is not protecting Greenland. From what? And there's been a collaboration with the USA for many years. So it's not all of the sudden, but it's really aggressive now, and it's getting kind of annoying.
So when Macron warns that the US...
You got people like this, man, come on. They scared, man. They think America will come bully them out of their country. Nobody wants to go through this type of stuff. Shouldn't even have to think about this type of stuff, man. It's crazy, especially if you're allies. How do you get to this point where you're going, I need to... Man, why don't you help them strengthen it if it's about them having strategic military access, you know what I'm saying? Like the positioning. If it's about that, help them strengthen it. Don't say, oh no, we need Greenland so we can take over it. No, come on, bro.
US is turning away from its allies. It's a direct reaction to a US president acting like NATO borders are flexible depending on his mood. And Macron is far from alone on this matter. German officials have came out recently and vowed to support Greenland, whatever means necessary, and that NATO unity depends on allies acting together, not unilaterally.
Le Groenland, c'est la ligne rouge. Donc, je considère que si ils envahissent le Groenland, s'il se passe quelque chose au Groenland, ils ne sont même plus des adversaires systémiques, ils deviennent des ennemis. Parce que quand on s'attaque territorialement à un pays, à quoi servent les armées si on ne s'en sert pas? Je veux dire, si on laisse faire ça, il vaut mieux les 50 ou 55 milliards qu'on veut consacrer à la défense en France, vaut mieux faire autre chose avec, le donner dans le social, si on n'est pas capable de défendre défendre territoire.
And that matters, right? Because when France and Germany, the twin engines of the
Look at this
modern
picture, right? My man not even looking at the camera.
are openly warning about US behavior. This then becomes Europe preparing for a world in which they treat America no different than they would treat the likes of Russia or China. And this kind of makes sense, right? Considering Donald Trump has made it no secret his admiration of the leaders of those countries. And as I will continue to point out whenever this subject is brought up, can you imagine if this was Barack Obama doing this, or Joe Biden talking about invading a sovereign territory just weeks after literally invading a sovereign territory and capturing their leader? I tell you right now, the Donald Trump of 2014, 2015 would have many grammatically flawed tweets to send out about this.
I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
No more wars, no more disruptions. We will have prosperity and we will have peace. Under Trump, we will have no more wars, no more disruptions, and we will have prosperity and peace for all.
It's just crazy.
I am the candidate of peace. I am peace.
Despite the president's promises to not start new wars nor pursue regime change operations abroad, Mr. President, today there are 15,000 brave U.S. troops and an American armada off Venezuela's coast, all without congressional authorization. And the president is threatening more attacks on more countries, including every time you turn the TV on, it's another country: Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, and Greenland, part of Denmark, a NATO ally. Congress has not authorized any of these dangerous potential operations, which risk destroying alliances and relationships.
So if they haven't authorized it, why is he doing it? Like, isn't this like a world crimes? A world, like, he can get in trouble for this. I don't know what the word is exactly. I think it's not war crime, but world. Yeah, what the hell is the name of that? Like what he was doing when he was bombing the people in the ocean. What do they call that?
That have long kept the American people safe. The Trump administration, however, continues to trample on our Constitution with unauthorized military actions while threatening others, weakening U.S. democracy and making the world more dangerous in the process.
And Macron, he didn't just criticize Donald Trump's tone on this matter, which he has done in the past. He warned that the U.S. is breaking away from the rules-based order and turning away from those that have stood by its side for years. I mean, Denmark was, I believe, one of the countries that lost the most soldiers per capita when they went into Afghanistan with the United States to back them up. But I guess none of that matters when you have an egomaniac in charge.
New Midas merch. Head to store.midastouch.com today.
Egomaniac in charge, bro. Yeah, man, he don't care. He don't care about nothing but himself. We're just gonna be real about this. Nothing about himself and his well-being and his family's well-being. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, this shouldn't be okay, and it shouldn't be authorized. You're going to your allies, talk about you need their land. Where's the respect? Like he's like disrespectful, man. As a president, he's like the most disrespectful president that I've seen with my two eyes. There might be more out there, but this guy here, I'm talking about from American president. This guy's disrespectful, man. Well, let me know what you guys talking about in the video, and I'll see you in the next one.